Google's AI is killing your website traffic right now. And most small business owners, coaches, consultants, agencies, you have no idea that it's already happening to you. This is not someday, not eventually, right now. And I'm not talking about some algorithm update that you can wait out. I'm talking about a fundamental shift in how Google works. This change happened right now in May of this year, where your potential customers and clients are asking questions. Google is answering it directly, and your website is never even getting a visit. No click, no read, no lead. My name is Don Markland. I'm the CEO of Accountability Now, where we work with clients all over the world. We're in several different countries. And I'm also the co-CEO of Numi.com, where we have over 34,000 coaches on our platform. And we help coaches build their practices every single day. And I'm seeing this right now. This change in Google is the single biggest threat and change at Google in 2 decades. And it's impacting people that have thought their online presence was locked in. So if you'll stay with me for the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what changed at Google, why it's hitting you probably harder than you realize, and the 3 specific moves that you need to make so you can remain visible in this system of Google and how you can win in the future. Let's jump into it. For 20 years, the internet functioned as an open map. Millions of websites relied on search engines to funnel traffic directly to your digital doorsteps. And now Google is altering how consumers find answers and make purchasing decisions. The core disruption is one of placement. Google has positioned its artificial intelligence directly between the customer and the open web. Users no longer receive a directory of 10 blue links to browse and compare. Instead, the AI compiles a full finalized answer entirely within the search engine interface. High value, intent driven questions like, who should I hire for sales consulting? Or what is the best marketing agency for a small business? They are now answered by the machine rather than the professionals. This means a customer's journey can now begin and end within Google's entire interface, often concluding before they ever land on a business's actual website. The first major change is Google's AI mode. It has rebuilt search from a directory into a continuous conversation. This maps the old formula. A user types a question, clicks links, visits a website, and then decides. The new AI model replaces this. The question leads to an AI answer, follow-ups, and recommendations. The decision shifts, detaching from the website directly into the AI interface. This leads to the second major change. AI overviews are reducing the volume of outbound clicks to businesses and creators. If an article answers a basic question like, what is a sales funnel, for example, the AI compresses that information into a few sentences. The user receives the information instantly. The website owner receives no traffic. Content marketing strategies that exist only to answer simple questions are now mathematically obsolete. The third major change is the migration of Google's advertising network directly into these AI answers. Google is increasing its control over monetization, embedding commercial intent directly into the AI generated responses. The previous advertising model relied on businesses bidding on isolated, specific keywords. But now, ads function as contextual suggested next steps woven into the AI's logic, tailored to a user's specific history and behavior. Small businesses have lost the ability to simply buy top-tier visibility. They're now operating in a commercial environment controlled by Google's proprietary AI. And the fourth major change is that the business website is no longer the primary destination for the consumer. Historically, a website was the indispensable hub for educating clients, for building trust, and capturing leads. Under the new reality, the website has been demoted to a mere source file. AI systems now extract and rank a website's raw data without ever delivering a human visitor to the page. This extraction process reveals the weakness of modern small business websites that rely on thin or generic copy. A website lacking deep proof and a distinct perspective is effectively invisible to an AI tasked with finding the definitive answer. This is the permanent new reality for digital business. A website must now serve two distinct audiences. The first is the shrinking pool of human buyers who require extreme proof and deep trust in order to convert. The second audience is the algorithmic AI systems that require highly structured, authoritative data to recommend a business. Businesses that fail to satisfy both of these groups will likely see their search visibility absolutely disappear. Google has successfully walled off the internet and intercepted the buyer. But to survive this shift, one must understand why the structural wall was built in the first place. Google demolished its search architecture, and the previous model was buckling under the weight of 25 years of accumulated data and web rot. This wasn't a pursuit of innovation, it was a response to a search engine that had become choked by pollution. Over the last decade, the index filled with thin blog posts, fake reviews, keyword stuffed garbage, and sprawling content farms. Web development shifted towards a singular goal, building pages to satisfy an algorithm rather than providing value to human beings. And users felt the decline. A simple search for answers meant digging through layers of affiliate links and rewritten articles. SEO industry effectively trained an entire generation of users to avoid clicking on search results. By generating a single synthesized answer, Google bypasses that list of low-value links entirely. It creates a shortcut that removes the need for the traditional click. This new architecture attempts to salvage user trust by hiding the very junk that Google's own algorithm allowed to flourish for years. Then the arrival of ChatGPT and AI fundamentally shifted how people interact with information. It highlighted the friction of the old web, opening dozens of tabs, dodging banner ads, and mining facts across all these disconnected sites. It was exhausting. Users leaned into the simplicity of a single prompt, returning one precise response. It was beautiful. If users stopped searching and started prompting, Google's internet influence was going to evaporate. This rebuild is a survival pivot from Google, a move to ensure Google isn't replaced by the tools it failed to build first. But beyond mere survival, Google is actively using this massive shift to expand its complete control over the user's next move. Google is moving beyond simple information retrieval. The new architecture is designed to manage the entire decision-making process internally. This flowchart here maps the traditional journey. You search, click a link, read, compare options, and buy. Every step between the search and the purchase is a point of friction where Google might lose the user to another site. Really simple. The AI architecture condenses these steps into a closed loop. You ask, it answers, you refine, it recommends, and you buy. By providing the recommendation directly, Google ensures the user never has to leave to evaluate a product. This puts Google in a position to capture the revenue that previously went to third-party publishers and review sites. In this model, the entity that provides the recommendation dictates the flow of market demand. Google's objective is to become the universal recommender for every digital transaction. And by dismantling the old path, Google dictates the commercial endpoint for billions of users. The raw fuel for the system is the sheer volume of data that Google holds. This includes everything from Gmail to Calendar to Maps to YouTube, even Android. Artificial intelligence is the only engine capable of processing this mountain of personal context into actionable intelligence. A standard search result is the same for everyone, but an AI-generated answer is fluid. It adjusts based on your location, your past searches, your preferences, your buying behavior, even your immediate intent. But this level of personalization makes the system opaque. It's no longer possible to see how the engine is making its choices. For a business, this creates a total loss of visibility because every answer is tailored to the individual. Companies can't track why they were recommended or why they were ignored. Google has moved the mechanics of discovery into an impenetrable black box. For any company outside of this ecosystem, the challenge is no longer about ranking. It's really about surviving the blackout. The structural shifts in search and digital discovery expose profound vulnerabilities for small businesses, coaches, consultants, agencies, you name it. AI's consumption of digital content follows a mathematical logic. Algorithms digest shallow, generic information first, replacing the need to visit original sources. So if a website relies primarily on basic informational traffic to generate leads, that lead source is now highly exposed. Branding is also under threat. Without clear, verified trust signals that exist outside your own site, brand lacks the authority required for an algorithm to recommend it. Many business sites utilize structures that AI systems cannot confidently parse. This technical opacity makes the business effectively invisible to the recommendation engine. A shallow web presence is an active liability. As algorithms take over the path to a purchase, a lack of verifiable proof guarantees exclusion from future search results. The traditional digital brochure is obsolete. So to maintain visibility, your website must function as a trust engine. This engine performs 5 explicit jobs. It proves you are real, verifies expertise, identifies your audience, documents results, and feeds AI structured facts to understand you. Most websites fail this test with these vague claims like we help small businesses grow or something, and it provides zero calculatable data. A functional architecture specifies exact targets, such as like service-based businesses between $500,000 or $5 million, and lists the specific operational problems that you solve, like sales or owner dependency. Specific language bridges the gap between human buyers and machine algorithms. It allows buyers to trust the claim faster and gives the algorithm the exact variables required to categorize and serve the business. Basic educational blog topics like articles defining SEO or explaining how to grow a business face a steep drop in traffic. Generative AI answers these surface level queries natively. Content must now contain elements a machine cannot invent: strong opinions, original frameworks, real case studies, and firsthand data. If an algorithm can summarize the text without losing value, the article is too weak to rank. Buyers use AI to compare competitors and search for red flags before clicking a website link. The algorithm will pull data from Reddit, LinkedIn, YouTube, and directories to formulate answers. Here, website is just one minor signal within a massive public footprint. This shift requires a discipline called trust engineering. The goal is no longer just ranking a page, but securing verified trust everywhere your brand name appears. Relying exclusively on on-site copy to control a brand narrative, that's no longer viable. The algorithmic lens evaluates the entire ecosystem surrounding the business. Agency service models based on producing high volumes of generic content, they are losing their value. The offer to write standard blog posts cannot compete with automated generation tools. Modern agencies are going to have to pivot to building a proof layer. This involves technical execution of entity clarity, schema markup, and local proof strategies that make a company verifiable across AI search. Coaches and consultants are highly exposed due to their reliance on soft, aspirational language, which is exhausting. Claims about creating freedom or reaching potential, those really lack the concrete variables necessary for an algorithm to recommend the service to survive the algorithm. Consultants must provide sharp positioning. The data must be specific of who you've helped, the exact problem that you solved, the stage of the buyer, and the documented proof validating the method. The dangers around ambiguous marketing. This type of language is a threat to discoverability. Without absolute clarity, the recommendation engine moves on to a competitor that it can definitively understand and categorize. Generic local service pages frequently fail in the new search landscape. A bare-bones list of offerings provides insufficient data for AI-driven local discovery. Local businesses must display distinct proof points. This requires active review responses, pricing guidance, staff biographies, and verifiable information before and after evidence. Algorithms reward businesses with a dense, verifiable footprint. As structured data points connect to the business, the entity becomes more trusted by local search queries. A thin or outdated local digital presence results in an immediate bypass from Google. Without data density, the business effectively disappears from the machine maps of trusted local solutions. And the culmination of these filtration mechanics is a phenomenon known as Google Zero. This occurs when a user submits a query and the machine answers it natively on the results page, and the destination website is completely skipped. This chart here shows the quantitative impact. For informational searches, outbound traffic plummets and flatlines, while complex queries still require human exploration on dedicated sites. The trajectory of search engines point toward answering queries natively rather than distributing traffic. Consequently, top-line website traffic is no longer the primary indicator of business health. Success is now measured by different vital signs: sales, qualified inquiries, review growth, branded searches, AI mentions, revenue, trust, and demand. That's the new scoreboard. It is urgent to move past the static brochure format and build a dynamic trust engine architecture. You must establish a proof layer that commands respect from both the algorithm and the buyer. And now I'm going to cover the exact tactical steps required to assemble this architecture. This series here, I want you to focus on now what to do next. Waiting to act is exactly how small businesses get permanently buried. To survive the shift to an AI-driven internet, you have to execute 3 specific non-negotiables moves today, right now. Move 1 requires taking your entire company website and rebuilding it around undeniable authority, stripping away all that marketing fluff and BS. In an environment where AI can generate infinite hype on demand, your website is only useful if it functions as a machine that actually proves why you should be trusted. Start with your homepage and services page and ask 5 really strict questions. Is it clear who we help? Is it clear what problem we solve? Is it clear why we are different? Is there real proof? And would AI understand what and who we should be recommended for? And once you locate the weak spots, replace them with hard trust signals. Add specific service descriptions, clear pricing guidance, real photos of your team in action, and actual expert biographies. Your site should not sound impressive. It should sound clear. When generic, artificially generated copy is everywhere, clarity, proof, and specificity are the only metrics that actually win buyer trust. Move 2 focuses on what you publish. Writing basic articles to answer basic questions is now a losing game against AI, which can generate that material instantly. Instead, you need to create content with a defined point of view using the proof framework. What is proof? Well, it starts with perspective. You have to take a stand and say what you actually believe. The R stands for real examples. You have to show what happens in the field using real situations. Generative models can easily fake general advice, but they struggle to fabricate lived experience. That's a big difference. And then the first O is for original frameworks. By organizing your methods into named systems, you create intellectual property that makes your thinking easier to remember and much harder to replace. This visualization shows the final O and F, outcomes and facts. Pulling in quantitative data by tying your advice to measurable business results and hard data, your content becomes verifiable. This creates a stark dividing line between generic content that AI merely summarizes and evidence-based content that AI cites as an authoritative source. Applying this complete framework shifts a business from an interchangeable vendor to an irreplaceable authority in its market. Now, move 3 requires building out your visibility footprint. A strong website provides no value if the business isn't easily found and verified across the broader web. Start by updating your Google business profile and directory listings. Your categories, services, descriptions, and contact information must match exactly everywhere that they appear. And you also need to collect very specific reviews. A vague comment like great company does very little, while a detailed review outlining exactly how you fixed a problem or the results that changed from it or the revenue that improved, that teaches both humans and machines what you actually achieved. Next, publish simple, direct YouTube videos answering high intent questions from your buyers. Both AI systems and users heavily weight video as a form of verified proof. You should also build comparison pages like a business coach versus a business consultant or comparisons between competitors, because these pages match exactly how buyers make decisions between different services types. Expanding this entire digital footprint creates an interlocking web of evidence that makes the business impossible to misunderstand. The strategy is set, and now the 30-day blueprint for business clarity begins to move from theory to actual execution. During days 1 through 3, I want you to rewrite your homepage headline, your core message, to be clear about exactly who you help and what outcome you create. Then days 4 through 7, those are dedicated to strengthening your main service pages. Each page must answer exactly what your process looks like and what specific results are possible. Then days 8 through 14, aggressively build your proof assets. This means writing case studies, sharing your founder story, and collecting much stronger testimonials. These first 14 days act as the foundational layer for your company. Without this clear messaging and proof in place, subsequent visibility efforts, they're going to fail. And then days 15 through 21, I want you to shift the focus to publishing sharp, AI-resistant content that is built entirely on your real lived experience. This means writing highly specific pieces like explaining exactly why more leads will not fix broken sales processes, rather than offering just generic leadership tips. Days 22 through 30 involve the final push to expand your footprint across LinkedIn, major directories, Reddit, Quora, retargeting audiences, etc. The business now stands out with clarity against the fog of generic digital noise. Its structure is rebuilt specifically to survive this AI change from Google, and the old internet will reward businesses in this new environment. The new internet strictly rewards those who can prove more, and now you know how to do it. In this new AI landscape, the businesses that survive and win will be the ones who become the clearest and with the most undeniable answer. Okay, now you might be thinking, Don, but I'm a business owner, I'm a coach, or I run my own, fencing company or something. I'm not a tech person. I don't control how Google reads my site. This feels like something I need to hire somebody to fix. And whereas you can hire people to do this all the time, this is actually not that type of problem. None of what I've gone through today requires heavy technical expertise. You can do this. It just requires clarity. It requires specificity. It requires being willing to say out loud who you help and what they get. Updating your Google business profile takes like 30 minutes. Writing one real case study takes maybe 1 to 2 hours. Rewriting your LinkedIn bio or saying something specific instead of something vague takes 20 minutes maybe. None of this is code. All of it is clarity. And yes, that is your territory. Then I also might hear, hey, my clients don't find me through Google anyway. I'm word of mouth based. Hey, good for you. That's great. But I'm going to push back on that assumption for one reason. Your referral is giving your name to a potential customer or a client. That's great. But then that potential client is very likely going to Google you. And what they find or don't find is going to determine whether they send out an inquiry and meet with you or they just move on. Referrals and word of mouth still end up on Google. Your footprint still matters. If you want to be honest with you about something, Google is the number one place people are going to find you. And I remember when I started Accountability Now back in 2018, I thought my coaching business was going to be one on the phone. I thought people were going to call or we'd generate leads and we'd get on the call and we'd close it and that was really it. But then for a while, and that was really true. But over time, I learned the value of my online presence. That increased the volume and the quality of my calls. Because if I didn't have good online presence, I found my authority and my ability to close became harder. I realized if I didn't keep pace with my online presence and keep pushing it, my ability to grow my practice would have gotten harder and harder and harder. Yes, we had a website. Yes, we had content, but I needed to have a trust engine like we've talked about. And the minute we invested in clarity and that specific process with positioning, real proof, consistent footprint, all of our leads and flow continued to improve. And the same thing can happen for you. The work you do online doesn't just get you found. It does the trust building work before you ever open your mouth on a call. And that work is worth doing it right. So here are your 3 moves to recap everything. Number 1, rebuild around proof, not BS. Go to your homepage, your main services page, and ask yourself, what problem do I solve? What outcome do I create? And if those answers aren't on the page in the first 2 scrolls, fix that. Get rid of all the vague bullcrap language. Be specific. Step 2, create content that AI can't replace. Use the proof method, perspective, real examples, original frameworks, outcomes, and facts. Stop writing generic tips. Start writing sharp, experience-based content that has a point of view. Step 3, build your AI visibility blueprint. Update your Google business profile. Ask for specific reviews, not I'm a great business or I'm a great coach, but hey, she helped me go from 8,000 to 14,000 or whatever. Get really specific in the results and turn every review into a case study. Publish simple, direct YouTube videos answering high intent questions. If you do these 3 things before the end of this week, and you're going to start to see some changes. But my last piece of advice for you is don't wait until everything is perfect. Just move right now. And if you want help building this kind of positioning, clarity, business infrastructure, please go to accountabilitynow.net. Or if you're a coach, go to newbie.com and get your free listing. We built our systems and our business around these principles, and we help businesses and coaches all over the world every single day. But as always, please continue to like, subscribe, follow the channel, and we'll help you grow your business one client at a time.